Event number 48. This is the women's collegiate varsity third final. Lane 1, Drexel University. Lane 2, University of Miami. Lane 3, University of California, Davis. Lane 4, San Diego State University. Lane 5, St. Joseph's University. Lane 6, Southern Methodist University. We're close. Liner's flag is up. Perfect conditions at our starting line.
Sheila, this is Lloyd. I was in D2 and the radio stayed in
When you were in D1, so you was in D2.
I'm sorry.
Time, 6.185.
While we're waiting for our race to get started, we'd like to mention once again that after each race, about 60 minutes after, there is available at the merchandise tent a DVD copy of that particular race. The outstanding coverage that we have here with the camera locations all the way up and down our course gives you a beautiful bird's eye view of everything that's going on the water. So if you'd like to have a souvenir DVD of a race that you are particularly interested in or involved in, stop by the merchandise tent and you can pick one up for a mere $15.
Somebody fell in the water. So we get two boats.
Drexel, Miami, UCal Davis, San Diego State, St. Joseph's, SMU. Attention. Go.
So we have a start to event number 48. That's the women's collegiate varsity third final. Our 6 crews are out cleanly out of their starting blocks. And the leader of this field after the first 100 meters is Drexel in lane 1, followed by St. Joseph's in lane 5. Then it's Davis in lane 3. San Diego State, Southern Methodist, coming up to 250 meters, it's now in lane 2. It's the University of Miami, followed by St. Joseph's, lane 5. And then for the next position, it's University of California, Davis, and Drexel in lane 1, and Southern Methodist in lane 6. Crews rowing comfortably now, pushing towards their 500-meter mark. It's the University of Miami as your leader, followed by St. Joseph's. And then it's very close, the next three boats. Lane 4, San Diego State University, Davis, and Drexel, with Southern Methodist only 3 seats behind those 3. That's your field at 500.
Miami jumped up on that early lead, but they're being challenged by St. Joseph's. Then we hop into kind of a tight race in the second echelon with Davis, San Diego State, Drexel, and SMU.
These, of course, is the third final. That's for positions 13 and up, being contested by the boats that finished 5th and 6th in their heats. The lane draw is such that the best 5th place getters are in lanes 1 and 2 and 3, and the best 6th place getters are in lanes 4, 5 and 6. So if we see a boil over coming from the 4, 5 or 6 lanes, that means that somebody's having a much better performance this afternoon than they were this morning.
Well, you can always improve with age, even though it's an hour or two worth of age. Miami continues in the lead. St. Joseph's, Davis, San Diego State, and Drexel all very tightly bunched, and SMU is not that far off the pace.
At the moment, St. Joseph's are giving it a good go, obviously having a much better road than the one they did this morning. They're out in lane 5, and they're closely tracking Miami in lane 2.
To the casual observer, Charles, the curiosity is, would the coaches change a seat member in a later race to see if they get a better combination?
You can shift people around within the crew if you decide that's necessary, but I believe I'm correct in saying that you can't actually change crew members between a heat and a final. Changing the lineup's always a bit of a risk, so it's probably something you'd only do if you absolutely had to.
In lane 2, Miami and St. Joseph's continue to wrestle each other for the front part of this particular race. This is the 3rd final in the category of women's collegiate varsity.
Looks as though San Diego State may have taken it to St. Joseph's. Unless the view is deceiving me, it looks like San Diego State in lane 4 may have crept up level with or even past St. Joseph's. In 3, the challenge is coming from UC Davis to the lead boat from Miami, who are being impressed by Drexel, who have overcome what was obviously a little lackluster start, and they're back well and truly in the race at this point.
Coming through the Ingram Street wind tunnel, if you will. The wind, not too much of a factor, not nearly as bad as it has been at different times. And the crews that are coming through here on the far outside, it looks like it is St. Joseph's hanging in there pretty well.
They are. In fact, I was mistaken earlier. St. Joseph's have maintained that lead over San Diego State, though San Diego State are pressing in on them. You can see the tails of the boat just scooching over to the left as we look down the race course as they hit a little bit of breeze coming through the Ingram Street Bridge. All the boats suddenly sort of kicked over at one point there, and that shows you what sort of breeze comes through that particular gap. But it's Miami maintaining the lead, and they're pressed by St. Joseph's.
Coming on a little bit stronger is Davis. They have picked up the pace here in the last 300 meters and begun to creep back into it. In fact, they are challenging San Diego State for that 3rd position. Along the shoreline, Drexel appears to be the only crew that has kind of gotten out of it, as has possibly SMU on the far outside. Miami has picked up the pace here. They've decided that they want this thing, and they are moving along in lane number 2 closest to the shoreline in this grouping right now. St. Joseph just now has borne out a little bit in their lane, and that might create a little problem for them. Davis is coming on strong, and they have gotten past San Diego State and SMU on the outside, with Drexel coming along the shoreline.
Drexel are coming on strong, Alan. I wouldn't be surprised if they may, with this sprint, even get past Davis, and St. Joseph's would be under threat.
This is Miami on the lead. They have contested or been on the lead throughout. They have some open water back to St. Joseph's out there in lane number 5. And then Davis in the middle, but they are going to have to look to the shoreline and look at Drexel. Drexel coming on strong as we look back at the crossing of the finish line. Miami, St. Joseph's, and it looks like the crew from Drexel will run out of room, as apparently in the 3rd place spot is Davis, followed by Drexel along the shoreline, San Diego State and SMU on the outside. So the champion of this particular group in the women's collegiate final 3rd third final, I should say, is Miami, followed by St. Joseph's, Davis, Drexel, San Diego State, and SMU, the unofficial results.